Hi, my name is Nikki Shea Brand. I am a graduate student at TAMI in the Educational Leadership Program. And today's topic is about strategic operations. Now, what I'm understanding is you're not going to be able to have strategic operations if you don't strategically plan. Now, after watching the video and then reading chapter 6 from Breakthrough Principles, there was some really great insight that I gleaned from, and I thought it was very impactful. Um, there were four levers that was discussed. One, goal setting and implementation. Two, time management. Three, budget. And then the last one was about community and district relations. So we're going to spend a little bit of time on each lever and then kind of bring it all together at the very end for my conclusion. So with goal setting and implementation, it is very important that the campus comes together, leadership team or the instructional leadership team, and then the other staff about setting goals. And these goals need to be very strategic, but they also need to be measurable. When I think about campus goals, our mission and our vision, it should be directly aligned also to the districts. So collaboratively, we should all be working together. The individual campuses should be all working together to help achieve the larger district's vision for our community. Um, I think it's very important that it is measurable and whatever strategies that you put in place, that you have time frames set aside to where you can sit with the group and kind of discuss how are we working toward the progress of reaching those goals. The second lever was time management. And for me, it's pretty big. Time is something that is very precious and you cannot get back. So it's very important that you're strategic about time management. When the video discussed time management, one of the big things that I can recall them talking about was looking at instructional time, looking at bell schedules, and seeing, so is this the best bell schedule for my campus? How can I take this bell schedule and make it work? Am I getting the most instructional time with this particular bell schedule? And time management is not, of course, just about bell scheduling, or so to speak, but it's more so about overall, how is our time spent on this campus? The time for my teachers, how are they spending their time? Of course, I know that they are teaching, but outside of their teaching time, during the school day, what are they doing with their time? How often are they planning? How structured is that time? Because that's valuable time as well. How often are they receiving professional development or how often are they in professional learning communities? So all of this time should work together to be able to reach, again, our campus goals that have been set. Also, when I think about time management, I think about the principal, the assistant principals. What does their time look like? How is their time scheduled out? And what's the priority? Because all of the time management should be centered around our priorities, which is what are we doing in order to reach our goal? So if the time management is not centered around that, then it means that we are probably doing a lot of, I'm not going to necessarily say wasting time, but time is probably not being utilized at its best. So looking at that master, so to speak, not necessarily a master schedule, but a big calendar, an annual calendar is, I think, what they called it. And that calendar has a lot built into it. Community events, planning time for teachers, data analysis time, even when assessments are going to happen. But classroom observation and walkthrough times for teachers to receive observations and then get feedback from it. All of that needs to be built into this annual calendar so that number one, teachers know the expectations, even students know the expectations. And so this being modeled from the top down helps students kind of get an understanding of time management as well, because they understand that we've put different things in place to help reach our goals. And so as an individual, you need to start putting things in place, managing your time so that you can achieve your goals. The lever three, because I can stay on time management for a little bit too long. But lever three was really about budget, which I think, and the times that we're in, the budget piece is huge. Many districts or many campuses put a lot of their budget into human capital. And I think that's very important. Hiring the right people, having them in the right positions. I think that's very important. Another portion of the budget that, of course, could be very important, facilities funding, the upkeep of the building, ensuring that things that maybe need to be renovated can perhaps make that happen. But if not, looking at strategic ways to use the budget in order to ensure that it does happen. One thing that we do understand is staff and students are very engaged. They're very prideful of the buildings that they enter. So ensuring that they look the part and that it's equitable, even though it could be outdated, but ensuring that they feel good about where they're attending, where they come to work. It really does impact what happens on the campus, the school culture. Some people also place their money, of course, into professional development, and I think that's very, very important. I know there are some districts that do trainers of trainers where they send people out to professional development because their budget doesn't allow for bringing in a whole bunch of different people to do the professional development. They'd rather send a small group and then allow that group to come back and be the trainer of trainers. And nothing's wrong with that. I think you got to do what's necessary for you with your budget. But now this kind of pushes us into level four, which is the part about community and district relations. So the district is the big umbrella, and all the schools all feed under it. They're all housed underneath it. So the district should be a resource. The district employees should be resources to the individual campuses as they need them, and then the campuses also need to reach out to them, ensuring that they're all connected. It shouldn't be that we're afraid to reach out to the district because it can seem like almost I gotcha if you say I need help. But I think we have to kind of get away from that stigma of not calling on district. I know our campus, we have district personnel that come, especially for math. They're on our campus pretty much every week, so at least once or twice a week. Not so much for the other contents, but especially for math. But I think, and that's due to some other issues. But I think the bigger takeaway from it is that we need to, campus level needs to continue to reach out to the district and make sure that we're all on the same team, working toward the same goal, so that we all know that student achievement is it. That's exactly what we're trying to do, is increase student achievement and then help our babies be successful. Another aspect of level four is community relations. Now, this can be very big. I know some towns are kind of small and maybe they don't have a lot of business people there, or but they don't have to stay within their own town. They can reach out and branch out to different people. Community involvement is very important to the sustainability of a district and campuses. I think it is our responsibility to invite them in. So we need to open up, be very vulnerable with them, let them walk the campuses and see what's going on, because you never know, they could be able to assist with some facilities funding. If you can explain to them, here's our goal, here's what we're trying to achieve, here are the strategies, the different things that we've put in place, here's the frequency of how often we're going to measure it to see if we're reaching our goal, and we need assistance with X, Y, and Z. And if they see that this is something that they also believe in, then again, they could very, very much so be inclined to assist you with your budget. I think it's very important to get their input also on our mission and our vision and the goals that we've set, because again, their students feed into and prospects in the future, workers feed into our campuses, and we're growing them to be able to go be productive citizens. So I think we all have to understand we all work together for, again, the number one goal, which is student achievement, and to ensure that these students are successful, not just when they're on our campuses, but for life. So I really enjoyed this strategic operations and planning, and I'm understanding now that all things work together, and being strategic about ensuring that they're working together is very important to the instructional leader. And the instructional leader definitely needs the support of everyone on the instructional leadership team